to you. There he is. Give it up. From Scholastic, he's going to be talking to you about his upcoming graphic novel. So I'm going to hand it over to him. There you go.
Hello. Hello, Comic Con. My name is Dhruv Rao. I'm an illustrator for Scholastic. I don't work for them exclusively. I'm a freelancer. I'm working on projects for them now, so Scholastic decided to fly me down here and speak about stuff I'm doing. I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of a freelance illustrator and comic book artist. So, if any of you are looking to go in that direction, then you can, of course, interrupt me and ask me questions. So, that's how it's going to be. There should be someone here with a mic, and you can ask me anything at any point of time. This will mostly be a showcase of my work and stuff I'm doing now and how I go about it, and mostly like how I got into the whole thing. So basically what I want to talk today is about narrative in illustration, which you can carry over to comic book art and stuff like that. So now, while art is definitely important, like we all know that nothing captivates the eye than like really good art. It's really interesting. You can integrate a really nice concept in it, something which transcends the visual aspect of it. I'm going to take two projects from Scholastic right now, which I have worked on and I am working on currently to showcase this aspect of it. At any time, if you have any doubt, then you can interrupt me and ask me this. So let's go to the first project, which is a pure illustration-based project, which doesn't really involve a core, a very orthodox story and how I went about it. So basically, Scholastic got in touch with me initially to redesign a series for them. They had a series of books which had a typographic cover. It didn't have an illustrated cover. These books were the 103 series, which basically dealt with a lot of a knowledge base which like people could read and they could understand. So we can go to that just a minute. Can we go to the next folder, please? So when the editor from Scholastic got in touch with me, this is what they showed me. This is the original cover for the series. The series is 103. This one in particular deals with journeys, voyages, trips and stuff. So can we go to the next slide? This is mathematical theorems, axioms, paradoxes and stuff. The next one, historical mysteries, puzzles, conundrums and stuff. The next one, myths, legends, fables and stuff. Can we just hang on to this slide for a minute? So these are the covers which Scholastic sent to me and said that this is a series we have had. We would like to redesign this and we want a more illustrative cover. So they asked me whether I have any ideas and they asked me to like send them rough scribbles, sketches, and they asked me to work with it. Now one thing you have to keep in mind is that this is a series. That means that it's a series of books. Each book has something in common. Basically it's a knowledge bank and each one is related to the other. As you have seen with the typographic covers, they are color-coded, but what you can see, what stands out is that each one is 103 words, like the topics that they cover and stuff, and then so on all of those. So what I did was, basically I started just doodling, sketching, and coming up with a lot of rough scribbles, like as you can see here. At this stage, I have no idea where it is going, but I know that I want the words 103 in bold. I want it to stand out. I want that to be the identity of it. Can we go to the next slide? Here I'm just jotting down ideas. Right now you can see that I have a rough idea of how I want the cover to be. So I have an elaborate border, and then I have a negative space in between. So over here you can see I'm trying to develop it further. Now here I paid attention to everything that was on the cover. I do something called word association, where you take the words which are on the cover and then you just keep coming up with ideas, words, concepts associated with that word. So the essential word here I saw was stuff, and then I also went through the books. I asked for the book content and I went through it to get an idea of what was in it, and I found out that there were lots and lots of knowledge about things, like the one about everyday things, almost everything was covered, bicycles and pliers and everyday objects. Now, to literally depict that is going to be very, very, very boring. And just to show a spanner lying on the floor and 103 things like this, somewhat similar, that doesn't really make for a very interesting cover. So what I did was, just wait on the slide a minute. Oh, can we go back to the previous slide? In this slide, you can see that the border element and the border idea I had is coming out more. I'm trying to enhance the border, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly can the border be, what things can it, what elements can it be, can be incorporated in it. At this point, actually, in Death Sketch, I have already figured out how it's going to be. I decided that I can create a narrative over the series covers. I can create a story or a concept, no matter how vague. It will bind into each other. So I came up with a few characters. Can you go to the next page? So this is, before that I sent this image to the editor. I told her that this is my idea for the series covers. 103 in bold and stuff in bold, because those are the only two constant things, and the content of the book and the title in between the two. So what remains constant is the 103 and the stuff, and then the border obviously changes across the pages. Can we go to the next slide? This is an alternate cover, rough cover design I had. At this stage, I'm not really focusing on refinement or anything. As you know about rough sketches and processes and doodles and stuff, I just want to like highlight the 103 and the stuff and the basic title in any way that is possible. Can we go to the next? This is for the everyday inventions, discoveries, creations and stuff. This is another version. At this stage, as you can see, I have not really reached the whole enlightened, oh, we can't put all the things. I am in fact actually trying to put everything in there. There's a cycle, fridge, there's a surfboard right there. But this isn't really working for me. Can we go to the next? At this stage, as I was mentioning before, I wanted a human element in it. So I decided to create a set of characters, these mute children, as in very silent, very solemn children, who are there consistently throughout every series cover. I wanted to bring a human element. I wanted, since it's tough and some of them really didn't deal with human beings, I wanted that element on the cover. So can you go to the next slide? This is the finished cover for the 103 everyday invention, discoveries, creations and stuff. Going by the content of the book, I thought that we could have something mechanical and something mechanical and complex on a very desolate scape. So this is what I did. This is the final cover for the 103 everyday inventions, discoveries, creations and stuff. I'll show you how this links with the other series covers. I'll just cycle through them once. Can we have the next cover, please? This is the 103 journeys, voyages, trips and stuff. As you can see, the child is there again on the cover, and this time he's more like a castaway and thunder and lightning and stuff. Can we go back to the previous slide, please? Okay, can you see what I've done with the border here? Going with the theme of every book, I work in, say, in this, it's more mechanical and has more elements from within the book itself, which is incorporated into the border. Can you go to the next slide? So this is more organic, and I've used motifs which depict, say, cloud, thunder, lightning, and ground, and things like that. Can you go to the next cover, please? This is 103 historical mysteries, puzzles, conundrums, and stuff. So the next cover, this is the myths, legends, fables, and stuff book. So even when you're doing singular illustrations and it doesn't really call for a narrative, you can always tap into one concept which you can use, which at least evokes in the people something, like maybe they can come up with their own backstory for it, regardless of what the depiction of it actually is. This is the 103 mathematical theorems, axioms, paradoxes and stuff. So this was a scholastic project where I had to do illustrations and how I dealt with narrative. If any of you have questions, you can ask me. That will really help me also, like anything to do with illustration or comic book narratives. So this is the next project I did for Scholastic. My editor got in touch with me and told me that they were doing biographies of famous people and that they had the text for it, but they wanted to incorporate comic book elements in it, and basically illustration photographs and a lot of whimsy in it. So they asked me to come up with something. I sent in ideas, but what people will ask you for generally is a sample document. They'll be like, tell us how you're going to treat this. So then what you do is you ask them for some dummy text. So my editor sent me the dummy text, and she sent me the dummy text for Gandhi, and this was based on a previous book which Scholastic had brought out. And what I did was I did a quick rough sketch and showed them how I would treat images together. So this is the assassination sequence from the Gandhi book. Okay, so can we go back to the slide and scroll down? Go back to the PDF. And can you scroll down? Down. Not up. So these are the 6 pages I sent to Scholastic, and I told them that this is a way in which it could be done, where we don't really stick to panel restrictions, but we can flow over the pages, and how we can treat every incident. Can you go to the next slide? So once I sent in that, my editor told me, okay, fine, the manuscripts from the authors aren't in yet, so what you can do is you can just start brainstorming. So this is how I brainstorm a lot of word association. Right now I'm just working on trying to get a visual identity. These look like covers, but what they are actually is I'm just merging text and image together just to get a direction. The 3 biographies which Scholastic will be coming out with, Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, Amrita Shergill and Verghese Kurian. So I knew in advance that these are the books that would come out, even though the manuscripts had not yet come in from the authors. At this stage, I'm just working around the life, events in the life. So a major milestone in Verghese Kurian's life is his arrival in Anand, as you know. So I just have him at the Anand stop. And for Amrita Shergill, I just have a painting in a studio. At this point, I'm not really looking at reference images of any sort. I don't really want to get limited by what I see. So at this stage, I don't even care about how the person looked. I'm just going free. These things help you a lot later on when you eventually have to fall back on narrative ideas. I'll show you how it works in Kurian's case. These are further ideas. Right now, I use a little block charcoal, and here I'm actually, Scholastic has a really nice red logo, and I try to see how it works in stark contrast to the black on the cover. Can we go to the next slide? Oh, this is again an exploration. Next. Here, this is another exploration, and since it's again a series, I thought that so that people should know that it's not only text, but there are comic book elements. I'm incorporating things like speech bubbles. The next, this is Amrita Shergill. All these rough sketches really help me get a focus, because I don't have the text of the manuscript. I have nothing to work with at this point. So can you go to the next slide? This is Gandhi again. Next, this is another alternate. Here he's picking up Saul Gandhi. Okay, so this is the key moment. This is when my editor sends me the manuscript of the author. One thing is that the author has not written this as a comic book script. When she wrote it, she did not know that it's going to be adapted into a comic book format. So this is how I get the manuscript, and this is what I do with it. I read it like 20, 30, 40, 50 times. I internalize it. I know aspects of the manuscript, and when I'm reading it, the first go, I don't really mark up anything at all. Can we go to the next slide? But on the 3rd or 4th reading, what I do is I start marking it, because I have to adapt this for the comic book format, and I'm not going to use any additional words but the words of the author. So I'm not going to edit it in any format. I'm not going to do anything. So what I do is I do this. I start marking paragraphs. I start taking visual cues, like for example, panel of silhouette coming, and then single panel long shot, and these are the cues I keep marking. The blue and the yellow lines are I use the blue and yellow markers to divide the panel shots. What I know is what text goes into one panel. Oh yes.
Hold on, let me get you.
How much time did you have for this project?
Have for this project? This project is still underway.
So how much time do you have? Or have you?
Do I have a month more for the book? This is the first manuscript which come in, so a lot depends on when the author gives me the second manuscript. Like I said, these are 3 books which are going to come out. This is the Verghese Kurian book which is going to come out. And the first book decides the tone for the next book and the third book because they're on a series. So a lot of the decisions I take now are going to influence how the other 2 books are going to be. So what I do is I try to take as much time possible figuring out everything so that it's in place, so that there's no confusion left for the, like in the 103 series covers, right? The first cover took me a long time because I hadn't yet figured out how the boundaries are going to be. But once that's in place, everything else just falls back. The 103 logo, for example, it's easy to copy paste it into the consecutive covers, but to come up with the logo in the first place itself is a real pain.
A question related to that: how do you come up with the typography, the font that?
In that, everything is hand drawn.
Yeah, but how did you decide on that particular? The way you drew the 3 had a jagged.
Oh yes, I sketch a lot, and something that catches my fancy, I blow it up. Once I see it on the big screen, if it appeals to me, then I send it in for approval. And once it passes approval, it goes on. Actually, that's a very, I should have brought along pictures which showed the process, but I didn't. I'm sorry. But
what if you did this 103 thing?
yes.
Then you got another ideas, better ideas than that. Then what about that?
I have learned a long time ago to not really think about what I could or could not have done. Once it's done and it's out there, right?
Yeah, because this is a process, you'll be getting ideas every day, and then what?
This used to happen to me a long time before, and especially in published matter, it's out there in the market, and you're like, I wish, but you have to let it go. It's a long journey, right? So where was I? Oh, I don't know how we got to this page. What was the page before this? Could we go? Okay, so we have already covered this. Can we go to the next page? This is very interesting. This looks like a lot of blank pages. It actually is. But at this stage, these are the first 6 pages, first 5 pages of what I figured out. But these are only blank panels, and all I do is I sketch out these blank panels again and again and again. But every time I'm sketching it, I'm actually also breaking down the narrative. I don't really need to show this to anyone at any point, so I don't really sketch it in, but I remember what exactly is going on in there. Can you go to the next page? Oh, this is further on in the process. As you can see, the blank spaces, the blank panels are filling up a little. Each one has a significance, and since this is a like I said, I'm not doing this in public. I'm not really showing people, yes, alright. So each thing has a meaning. And can you go to the next slide? While I'm doing that, I also keep sketching stuff. I went online to see how Verghese Kurian looked like when he was young. I couldn't find any, so I did this time travel thing where I kept simplifying his features, smoothing out his wrinkles until I came. So all these things keep happening parallelly because I can't really try to keep figuring out panel flow for an hour or 2 hours. So I keep doing other stuff like trying to figure out character sketches. Can you go to the next? Can we stay on this slide just a minute? Can you go back to the slide? Can you go back to the previous slide? The next one? Yes. Here again, these pages, I know they don't make a lot of sense now, but it's still giving me an idea of how to do the narrative. Can you go to the next page? Here, here I know that at this point I know how I want to introduce it. Like I said earlier, in my earlier brainstorming sessions before I had the manuscript, one of Verghese Kurian's most important milestones was coming to Anand in Gujarat, and that's where and from there he took on the whole Anand cooperative movement and Amol, as you know. So I knew that I wanted to start the book with him coming to Anand. So as you can see, I have a train in place, and this is a steam engine because we had steam engines back then. Can you go to the next page? So here I have a better idea of what I want to do. All the blanks are filled out. If not in images, then in text. I know what I want to depict at each stage. I have numbers notched out, and it's just a mess at this time. Can you go to the next page, please? This is a close-up of the same shot. I actually can't. I'll have to put it a little forward. So here is the same thing. Next slide. Here I know what I want to do across a multitude of pages. This is where the pace starts kicking up because I know exactly where I'm heading, the direction in which I want to go. Can you go to the next page? Next page. Next one. Okay. This is at a very refined stage. Right now I'm writing down dialogues, at least the first 3 words. I know exactly the visual that is going to come in. Can we go on? And still, at this stage I want to remind you again, I'm not using words of my own. All of these words are from the manuscript. I haven't edited it. I haven't removed anything. I haven't added anything at all. This is the exact text as it came in the manuscript, which was not intended for a comic book format. And can we go back to the previous slide? So now I know the panel flow. It's like, I know that it's going to be three panels. I'm not going to, just for the sake of narrative and for the sake of adapting the manuscript, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to have it free flowing. I'm not going to have it all over the place. I'm going to stick to the grid. Can we go on? Further? Yes. So at this stage, I'm done with the rough sketches. What I do now is I start sketching it and I start scanning it. I take it directly onto the computer and I start putting together what is called the final manuscript for the entire book. I was also commissioned to do the book design for this. So can we go to the next? So this is how it looks once it's on screen. This is the part where Kurian is at the station and the guy at Anand station, and the person who's to come and pick him up at the station hasn't really arrived yet, and he has to pass time. All this is not there in the manuscript, but I have to do so. I have to come up with, I have to figure out what would anyone do when they're at the station. They have to wait for someone, and what would they do? So then I start visual scripting. I start creating a flow. I start imagining the location, how he would be. At this point, there's also personality which comes in. All these people, they have done a lot of extraordinary things, but you can't really depict the mundaneness of life as it is. You can't be like, this is where he waited and this is what he did. So you have to make it interesting, and ordinary lives can be like really interesting. Can we go on? So this is him still waiting at the station, and here I show how time has passed by. So okay, now this is when this is the final manuscript, where I have put in all the rough sketches, the thumbnails which I had shown you before, along with the text, and I've compiled it into one document, and this is what I sent to the editor. Can you scroll down in this? So the there's no cover design in place, but there's title. This is where the credits and publishing information go. These are all placeholders. That is the title for the minor title for the book. Can we scroll down? Scroll down a little more. Keep scrolling. Like. Okay, can we pause? So this is how the book starts, and the things which are done. Can we scroll down? Keep scrolling, like, slowly. So the chapter 1 actually begins after he's arrived at Anand. The entire earlier section is not there in the book, but I have borrowed text from the book and incorporated it into his arrival in Anand. Keep scrolling. So this is how I created the manuscript. So this is how I deal with singular illustrations and narrative illustrations. Are there any questions? Anything? Thank you.
Give it up for Dhruv, ladies and gentlemen.